Hey guys, welcome back to Taste of Love. Welcome back to the channel. So today we have a special sweet treat for you guys. We're going to be making my grandmother's special secret recipe, strawberry pie. So the thing about this is my grandmother, she never gave me a recipe per se, but I've seen her make peach cobbler, peach pie, and so I've kind of just used my own measurements. So I probably won't be showing you guys exact measurements because it is a family thing, but yeah, let's get into it. Okay, you guys, so one of the first steps you want to do when it comes to making this pie, so we got some fresh strawberries and you want to thoroughly wash the strawberries. Some people wash it with water and vinegar. Some people wash it with water and baking soda, I believe. But you want to just wash it up, make sure it's all clean from the dirt and debris. And so what you want to do, you want to chop off the part of the strawberry where it has the flowers or the leaves at the top. And then you want to turn it to the side and just slice it. It doesn't really matter the way you slice it. I don't like the slices to be too thick or too thin, but just medium size. And so we're going to slice up all of these strawberries and then we'll show you the next step. Okay, so now that we have sliced up most of our strawberries, we're gonna add it to a medium-sized saucepan right over here. So what we're gonna do is gonna cut the heat to, I say about medium. And what we want to do is have the juices from the strawberries sweat out. So what we're gonna do is gonna add, I'm not gonna tell you how much sugar, but we're gonna add some sugar to the strawberries, a little bit of nutmeg, and just maybe like a half a tablespoon of cornstarch. Alright, so we just added the sugar and now we're going to add a pinch of nutmeg. You don't want to use too much nutmeg because it will definitely take over. And we're going to add some vanilla extract. And then we just wait for the sugar to dissolve into the strawberries, and then we're just gonna mix it up and keep it going.
So what makes this pie special, Cassidy?
Well, for me, what makes it special is that my grandmother made it. So I've never seen her make a strawberry pie, but the way she makes her peach pie and the strawberry pie are very similar. But to me, what also makes this pie very special is the crust. And I will show you guys how I make it. Like I said, I won't give you guys exact measurements, but what makes it so special is that I've seen her make the crust and I was able to actually duplicate it. You know, I don't think it's anything like grandma's, but it's very close. So that's what makes it special to me.
And guys, her pies are really, really great. Her peach pie is the one I had first and I loved it so much, but she rarely makes it unless it's like for dinners or for the church. She'll make it, but I love the peach pie. And then she made the strawberry pie very recently. I think I like that one better, so.
Yeah, he said he liked it better. You know what? One day, I usually bake this pie. So I think one day I'm gonna try frying it and see how that turns out. And if it turns out well, then I'll show you guys.
Okay, so.
Now we're gonna get a spoon and we're gonna mix and make sure that the sugar is well coated on the strawberries. And it looks crazy right now, but in the next, I say about 10-15 minutes, you're gonna see a lot of juices come out of the strawberry and it's gonna be really, really good. So now to the strawberries, we're gonna add some cornstarch and just a pinch. You don't want to add too much, but I guess it just depends on how thick you may want your pie to be, your filling to be. Like I said, I just eyeball it. Okay, so our next step, while the strawberries are sweating or cooking on the stove, the next thing to do would be to get your dough together. So I've used different kinds of self-rising flour, but I've noticed that this gold medal self-rising flour works well. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. You know, back in the day when I used to watch my grandmother make this pie, she never used a measuring cup to, you know, to measure out her flour. She just kind of knew how much to put in there. So I'm gonna do the same thing. So now I've already chopped up my butter here. So you want to use cold butter, definitely not room temperature. You want to use cold butter because when the butter melts inside of the dough in the oven, you know, it'll spread nice and evenly and give a nice buttery, flaky taste. So I'm just gonna add the butter to the self-rising flour here. And if you have kids, this part right here would probably be the funnest part for them to participate in. So I took off my ring, watch and all that, hands are clean. So what we're gonna do next is just get right into it and start combining the flour and the butter together. So let's do it.
This part can be sped up maybe?
Yeah. It's gonna be the perfect amount of dough too.
I think so.
Yeah, because it's just that round. I have to say something real quick so they'll know about the dough. Okay, so as once you start combining the butter and the flour together, you don't want to over do this part right here, because if you do, then the dough would be tough. So you just want to do it until you can tell that the butter is well mixed into the flour. The best way to determine that is once the flour becomes a little bit crumbly, then you know it's pretty much good to go. Almost there. She having fun in there?
She is.
All right, you guys, so you see that the dough is looking kind of crumbly. You can tell that the butter is well combined in it. So I think this is good enough. Like I say, you don't want to over mix it. So I just checked on the strawberries and they're doing really, really well. So now we're going to add some whole milk to the flour and butter here. And like I said, you know, this is my grandmother's recipe, and I've watched her many, many times make the dough, and she never did measure anything. So I just eventually learned how to eyeball it myself. So I can't tell you how much milk, but you'll see. You're just gonna pour some milk in here. You don't want to pour too much, because then, you know, that means you have to add more flour. So don't worry about getting your hands dirty. You're gonna mix in. And sometimes you may have to add more flour, and that's okay. You just don't want to have to keep on adding more and more flour. So you're just gonna mix and mix. Make sure you get every corner. It looks like I might have poured just the right amount the first time around, but we'll see. It's a little sticky, and that's the thing, you don't want it to be overly sticky either, so that's kind of a way to measure if you need more flour or not. But we're gonna keep mixing just to make sure. So yeah. We're just gonna add just a tad bit more flour. Just a pinch. And mix that in. And at this point, I have to use both hands. Like I said, you don't want to over knead or over mix the dough because you don't want it to be tough. So this is pretty much the right consistency that you're looking for. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wipe down our surface area again, and then we'll show you what's next. All right, so now we're going to add some flour to our clean surface here. You just want to spread enough just that way the dough doesn't stick. So just gonna spread a little bit more. You don't want to put too much. All right. And you have to have a roller. I didn't have one for the longest time, so I would use cups and round things to flatten out the dough. But having this right here, it makes it a whole lot easier. So what we're gonna do is gonna take our dough. We're gonna place it here right in the middle. And then you want to add some more flour on top of the dough so that way the pan doesn't stick to it. And we're just gonna roll it out. Okay, you guys, so now the juices from the strawberry and sugar have melted down. As you can see, I did add, as you saw before, a little bit of cornstarch in there. And this is ready to go. So what we're gonna do before we do this, I'm gonna show you guys a quick tip. Okay guys, so usually when I make this pie or cobbler, I don't usually cook it in the 10-inch round pie pans. I usually use like the half pans, square half pans. But here's a tip if you're not comfortable with, you know, cutting or lifting up the dough. What you can do is, let's see, grab a knife, a thin knife. You're gonna add some flour to the edges of it. Be careful, that way it won't stick as much. And what you want to do is place the 10-inch pan over the dough. You can either press down or you can carve out a circle with the knife and just go all the way around the pan until you get the complete circle. And this will make it easier for you to lift up the dough and place it on top of the filling when it's inside of the pan. All right, so that's that. So now you see this is a perfect circle that we're gonna place on top of this pan. So what you wanna do is you can just go ahead and remove the excess dough. And you can save the dough and make, you know, biscuits out of it, make, you know, some other things out of it, but we're just gonna move that out of the way for right now. And this is what we have left. And so before I pour the filling inside the pan, I forgot to show you guys, but I did add just a pinch of salt. It helps kind of balance all the sweetness, so that's that. So we're gonna go ahead and pour the filling inside of this pan here. Just be careful because it's very, very hot. Let's get a spoon and scrape the rest out. And like I said, you know, how thick you want it, how, you know, looser you want the filling, that's all up to you, that's personal preference. But me personally, I don't like the filling to be too thick. Okay. So we're just gonna add a little bit more nutmeg to top of this here. Like I said, not too much because nutmeg is very, very strong. And also what we're gonna add to this filling is some extra butter. So we're just gonna place some butter just randomly on top of the filling. Like I said, how much butter you use is all up to you. It's up to the individual. Like I said, you don't need a lot of butter, but you know, like I said, it's up to you. If you want to put more than what I'm putting in here now, then that's up to you. So I think that's good. So what we're gonna do is we're going to place our nicely cut dough on top of it. So you just grab the dough carefully. And what you might want to do before you actually grab it, let me show you guys. What you want to do is, instead of just trying to grab it all from one side, make sure you just kind of lift each side up to make sure nothing is sticking. If it does, just try to dust some or sweep some flour under there so it won't stick as much. So it looks like everything is looking pretty good. I feel like some things are sticking right here. So we're just gonna carefully do that, twist it, and just carefully grab it. And you're just gonna place it as carefully as you can right over the filling. Just like that. And so we're gonna do something cute. I've never done this before. So I'm gonna try and hopefully it doesn't mess up, but we're gonna cut like those nice little 4 slits that people make in pies. I'm gonna try to cut that. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up here. I don't know if I should have did that before I placed it on here, but it looks like it's working. I'll make this one a little bit longer. And also, I know people do this as well, so that way, you know, the crust, things doesn't overspill and has some room and some air. So we're not completely done just yet. So what we're gonna do is we're going to add a handful of sugar on top of the crust. Like I say, how much you put is up to you. And then last and not least, but not least, we're going to top it off with some more, guess what? Butter. So this recipe requires a lot of butter. Like I said, how much butter you put on the outside is completely up to you. But butter to me makes everything taste better. Okay guys, so now we're going to just carefully place the pie in the oven at 350 degrees. And typically I'll let it cook for around, I'm gonna say about 20 minutes. Then after the 20 minutes, I'm gonna turn the broiler on for about another 5 minutes to help make the crust nice and golden, and that's it. You guys, the pie turned out amazing. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.